Dakota. The Biden and Trump campaigns hoping to highlight their opponents' weaknesses at Thursday night's presidential debate hosted by CNN. That showdown to take place in Atlanta. It is day one of a 3-day mourning period in southern Russia following deadly attacks on a police station, 2 churches, and a synagogue. 19 people were killed. Authorities blame the deadly attack on Islamic terrorists. And a fire likely sparked by exploding lithium-ion batteries swept through a factory near South Korea's capital earlier today, killing 22 people. On Wall Street, the Dow futures are up 84 points. More details, srnnews.com.
If you're 65 or older, you know this. Seeing your healthcare costs go up and up is frustrating. And maybe you were just notified that your Medicare costs are increasing again, or you're just tired of the massive deductibles. Well, here's some good news. There's a program that can really help with this. It's MediShare 65 Plus. It's an affordable, reliable alternative. You can choose any Medicare provider. You get telehealth access anytime you need it. And MediShare 65 Plus is a low-cost option for those with Medicare Parts A and B, and it fills in the gaps where Medicare stops. MediShare is a Christian healthcare community that aligns with your faith. People actually pray for you, they encourage you, and it's proven, too. It's been going strong for over 30 years now. So call now. You can get one low monthly price for up to 10 years. You're not stuck with increasing costs. You can do something about this today. Call MediShare 65 Plus. Find out how much you can save. Call 833-SHARE-55. That's 833-SHARE-55. 833-SHARE-55.
This is the Tri-State News with Curtis Duncan.
This year's Kansas legislative races should be more competitive in Kansas. That's because there are fewer uncontested races. Elections for the Kansas House and Senate are in November, but a quarter of the state legislature essentially won their seats 5 months early when nobody filed to run against them. Still, the number of uncontested races is declining, in part because more Democrats decided to run this year. Republican leaders in Kansas expect to net 2 legislative seats overall in the 2024 voting. More than 500 people were injured in work zone crashes last year. KDOS says new statistics show an increase in the number of crashes taking place in those designated work zones. 6 deadly crashes last year, leading to 9 people being killed. And the causes are, in Kansas, inattention, following too closely, improper lane changes, and speeding.
Now, the Tri-State's most accurate and dependable forecast on URock 102.5.
With your updated forecast, I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley from the Weatherology Weather Center. A heat advisory begins at 1 p.m. this afternoon. Ample sunshine expected today with a slight chance of thunderstorms. High temperatures reach up to 105. Winds out of the south, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Slight chance for storms tonight. Lows level off around 68. Partly cloudy skies. Mainly sunny tomorrow. Highs level off around 102. Temperatures a bit above average Wednesday and Thursday with highs from the low 90s to the upper 90s. Slight chance for storms Thursday. A peek at the extended shows 95 Friday, 85 Saturday, and 91 on Sunday. Get up to the minute weather updates from the Weatherology Weather Center. I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley on this NWKS radio station. Right now, it's 71 degrees.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy happiness. But money did buy your boat, where you find peace fishing, unlike at home with 3 teenage daughters. Because fish never argue about who stole whose crop top, or get mad the other fish used up all the hot water. No, they just swim around, never embarrassed to be seen with you in public. So save money by bundling your boat or RV insurance with home or auto from Progressive. And buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers, not available in all states.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
It's the greatest tribute on earth. The Rock Gods, a tribute to rock and roll's most iconic stars with a one-of-a-kind show. The Rock Gods, July 4th. A salute to the most legendary acts, including Van Halen, Def Leppard, Guns N' Roses, Bon Jovi, Ozzy, Kiss, AC/DC, Alice Cooper, Motley Crue, Poison, and more. The Rock Gods, July 4th. The Rock Gods Tribute Show, live in concert. The Rock Gods. It's the greatest tribute on Earth. Brought to you by the Thomas County Fair Board, the Colby Convention and Visitors Bureau, and NWKS Radio. July 4th.
This is a free-to-attend concert.
Hi, this is Stephanie Dole with F&B Bank. At F&B, we offer many different types of deposits accounts to help you achieve your financial goals. Whether it be personal checking or savings, business checking account, or a variety of CD options, we're here to help. Stop by our bank directly east at the post office in Goodland or call 785-890-2000 to begin working with me or another F&B Bank team member. F&B Bank, member FDIC.
Keep your ride running at peak performance by scheduling an appointment with the Daves at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Hurl's has a full-service service department where they'll work on all makes and models, not just GM. They do tire repair and replacement. They'll make sure your AC is running at its best for these hot summer months. Plus, customers who bought a used vehicle from Hurl's get a lifetime warranty and reduced oil change prices. So get your appointment scheduled today by calling 785-890-0000. That's 890-0000 and ask for Dave. You're sure to get one of them.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery ingestion and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
Cassie Joy's coming to Colby's Picnic in the Park at Fike Park on Wednesday, July 17th. Bring a chair, a blanket, your family, and lunch, and enjoy Cassie Joy's performance live.
In 2017, Cassie was on NBC's The Voice, and today she has an astronomical 35+ million video views online and has garnered the attention of music fans around the globe.
Pulled pork will be available to purchase from the Thomas County 4-H Shooting Club and the Gems Line Club. This show is a free event for everyone. More details at nwksradio.net.
The Farmers State Bank of Oakley has been financing agriculture since the day we opened our doors. Hello, this is Corbin, and we are proud to be your locally owned partner in ag. We invite you to come and visit with us when you need to purchase new or used farm equipment, or need any type of agriculture or business loan. We have the knowledge, experience, and financial resources to keep you growing. The Farmers State Bank of Oakley, a tradition of community and agriculture for over 115 years. Member FDIC.
Need to make a change? Get the latest devices at Nextech Wireless. Right now, you can get up to $1,000 off a new phone, like the Samsung Galaxy S24 or the iPhone 15. Well, what are you waiting for? Make the switch now. Nextech Wireless. Home on the range.
Rise and shine. It's butt whipping time.
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
That broadcast school has really paid off.
And Christian Peck-Dimit.
Do you want to keep this job? Shut up, listen, learn.
The region's only local sports talk show, discussing it all from the preps to the pros.
What time is it? Listen.
Simulcasting on AM 730 Fox Sports Tri-State, streaming online at nwksradio.net and the Rockingham app.
They are everywhere.
The Blitz is presented by the Insurance Agency, the Farmers State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
2-2 pitch. She is hit well to left. This is going to tie the ball game up. A no-doubter near the concourse for Hunter Goodman.
With a lot of help. Draisaitl down low, they score! Beautiful pass to Warren Fogle! And it's 1-0 Oilers.
Marcus Simeon with one out.
That pitch stayed up, and he drives it into deep left field, and MJ Melendez is leaping and makes the catch and slams into the wall.
That ball is hammered, and that may end the zero. It is gone! Dylan Dreiling exits stage right, 22nd of the year, and the Vols finally break through to lead it 2-1. It's short. Reese another rebound. Reese blitzing, puts the foul. A chance to tie it at the line for Angel Reese.
Hey, good Monday morning, everybody. We're back on the Morning Blitz on 102.5 URock, AM 730, Fox Sports Tri-State, the Rockingham app, nwksradio.net. Video streaming also available, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube via the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. No matter which way you're tuning in here on what's going to be a really hot Monday, we thank you so much for doing so. I have the fan on high, blowing directly on me. It's already warm in the studios, and it's only going to get warmer as this day progresses on. Highs expected to be in the triple digits, as it was yesterday, will be again today and tomorrow. Both of us coming off some pretty exciting weekends. I had a weekend trip in Denver. Christian was in the hotter city of Phoenix. What was this is a cool down for you, amigo.
Yeah, I'm bringing the heat with me, it seems like, but no, 114 was, I think, the highest it got while I was there, and in the 110s all week. It was that, I mean, you walk out the door, by the time you get to the car that's 10 feet away, you're sweating getting in. There was a lot of sweat, especially in a tux come Saturday. So that was a tough look this weekend for the armpits of my clothes. But big shout out to the newlywed couple, Jason and Bessie Chimponer, who were nice enough to have us all down in Arizona, where I had never been, actually. And the two of them were starting their lives together now, and that was a lot of fun this weekend, even though it did bring me from the show for a couple of days.
Via the power of social media, I saw the first dance. The couple looked very wonderful together. Ooh. And also I saw you and shooting, what was that, an AK-47, some big gun at distant target. I don't know how good you did, but
are you on my Snapchat?
I was following you. I follow you on Snapchat just to see what you were doing. So anyway.
Yeah. That was what an M240. Part of the bachelor party was going to the gun range and firing off like a saw and an M240, and did mess up the elbow a little bit with some hot shells coming off of that thing. It's just dropping them, and the saw's shooting them up, all the hot brass, but the M240 just drops them right on your arm. So that was super fun, but a good time. And also went to the casino where I am. I've never been to a casino before, so I'm up all time, and hopefully we can keep it that way.
What are you plus right now all time? We have to know.
Turned $40 into $105 at the blackjack.
Nice. Well done.
And I believe the groom is up money as well. So a win all around.
A winner of the weekend right there.
Yeah.
Off. Christian Peck-Dimit plus. He's in the black when it comes to playing the casino in the house. So there you go. Nice.
The new couple can be my first winner of the weekend.
There you go. No, that's great. So we have, of course, it is Monday. That means winners and losers coming up here your way. And we'll get to the leftovers as well. And boy, what a humongous night of sports coming up here tonight. We'll get to that coming up in today's program. It looks like this is the best part about the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream is you can really get to see. This is the first time it looks like Christian had a really good weekend. It just looks like it. I don't know if you're still feeling.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I think you're still feeling the effects a little bit of the weekend. So I just get that sense just by doing a little read right there.
We did a lot. We got a lot of sun, had a lot of fun, made some great memories. But one thing we did not get a lot of was sleep. Including last night, I did not get home.
You know what's amazing is you didn't play golf, did you?
No, because
that's amazing because most people would say if you're going down to Arizona, you got to go play golf, even though it's a little bit past the high point of the season. Which now is like a great time to go play golf in Arizona because Most of the super courses that are hard to get on, they're looking for ways to get people out on them. So they're like, if you come play, we'll give you a discount or something like that. I've spent plenty of time in the Phoenix area in my life. It's a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed.
It's gorgeous
my time down there. It's a very beautiful. It's a beautiful. If you love the desert look, it's gorgeous down there in the Phoenix metro. All right, let's get this show rolling with the weekend winners and losers.
There are two kinds of people in this world.
There's winners and there's losers.
Which ones were which this past weekend?
I want winners.
Loser! You're a loser!
It's the weekend's winners and losers on the Morning Blitz.
Want to be a winner, be a winner.
Well, Christian already wished his friends, the happy married couple, the first winners of the weekend. Who else is a winner of this weekend?
Yeah, winner number 2, or I guess 3 if you count the couple as 2 this week. I think there's a couple of obvious ones here in the sports world. I'm going to go onto the links just because Ross just mentioned it, to Scotty Scheffler, who was awesome this weekend. And we are off of Pinehurst number 2, so we're back onto the normal tournament winning scores of 22 under, unlike the, obviously, U.S. Open that saw just ridiculously high scores. And I think it was after the first day, it was one stroke below got you like top 5, and +1 got you 40th because everyone was crammed near the top. But back to a little bit of an easier course on the relative scale. And Scotty, after a bit of a slow start, was just staying consistent all weekend long and sort of weathered the storm throughout the weekend. Ended up in a playoff after a wild sequence with protesters on the 18th green with Tom Kim, which he won. And Scheffler picks up his 6th win of the season. I've got a couple of stats of the day here for you to go along with that 6th win. Scotty is the first to reach 6 wins on the PGA Tour in a season since, you guessed it, Tiger Woods back in 2009. 15 years. And he's having that kind of a historic season. Not only that, get this, this is the first Scotty's 6+ win season before July 1st since Arnold Palmer in 1962. 62. My goodness. It's been a long time since we've had someone on a tear the way that they are right now. And we talked about rebounding from sort of the toughness of Pinehurst. No one did it better than Scotty, who just struggled so mightily at the U.S. Open, was basically a non-factor come the weekend. And granted, that's a little bit because of the course. It doesn't take kindly to people really trying to get aggressive and take strokes back. So when he sort of struggled on Friday and Saturday, it just really almost compounded his issues going into the weekend, where, like I said, he was basically non-existent at the top of the standings, and just had a massive rebound in the biggest way to bring home win number 6, the first winner of the weekend, or I guess the second or third, Scotty Scheffler.
The stat that I saw on this topic, or on this particular storyline, that I'm a little bit intrigued about, honestly, was joins Tiger Woods, the only players with 6 PGA Tour wins as world number 1 in a single season. And my question would be, who are the other ones that did it that they were not the world number 1? And probably the bigger question was, why were they not world number 1 at that time?
Would it just be because they hadn't started doing the rankings yet?
I said I don't know the answer to that question. That's just a question I have reading that stat. Yeah, it's been a heck of a run for Scotty, and to see him rebound, first and foremost, he was on cloud 9 going into the PGA, and then he has that. It was just a tough weekend. I don't want to sit here and say it was a bad weekend. It was just a tough weekend for Scotty Scheffler. And even though he had a tough weekend, he still performed pretty well despite getting the whole arrest deal and all that. And then he had a rough weekend at the U.S. Open. Okay, so be it. You're allowed to have a little bit of a downer. And then he comes right back and takes the championship there at the Travelers, which was Really cool scene late after he won because his good friend Tom Kim was also playing against him in the playoff to win it. And, and so they're really good friends. And, to see Tom came up just a little bit short, but Tom came up and talked to Meredith, Scotty's wife, and their new baby. And, and talked about how much, how much they love each other. They're very, very tight people and family, those two are. And so, even though they're not related. So it was pretty cool to see that afterwards, despite Scotty getting the win with some very good putting down the stretch there at the Travelers for Scotty Scheffler. So, and more on this tournament coming up in the losers as well here in just a little bit. Yes, we'll get to that in just a minute. My first winner of the weekend, I've got a few. And my first winner of the weekend, I'm going to go with the Edmonton Oilers, a winner of the weekend. For those who haven't followed the Stanley Cup, it's time to probably start following tonight because we could witness something we haven't seen since 1942. As Christian talked about 1962, I'm going to take you back to 1942 when the Maple Leafs came back from being down 3-0 to win the Stanley Cup. The Edmonton Oilers have a chance to do it again for O Canada tonight if they can take down Florida in Game 7 from Sunrise, Florida, down there on South Beach. You have to realize, folks, if you watch into the Stanley Cup, you saw the first couple of games just complete and pure domination by Florida. They absolutely dominated everybody. That was the thing that really stood out to me is how much they dominated this entire tournament. They shut them out in Game 1, 3-0, and then 4-1 in Game 2. Edmonton could not get a shot past Bobrovsky, the goalie for Florida. He was on a cloud 9. And then in Game 3, then in Game 3, where you're thinking the Oilers, like, we're at home. We cannot go down 3-0 because we'll never get back. They tried like what to get back in this series, and they still lost 4-3 back on June 13th. And then it clicked in Game 4, where, once again, we talked about many times on the show last few weeks, the gentleman's sweep, where you're Florida, you're like, golly, we're up 3-0. We're on the road. We don't need to really try super, super hard. Let's just try to go back home and get it done in Game 5. We've dominated to this point. Well, Edmonton goes out there and rolls 8-1. It kind of got away from Florida because I don't know if they, once again, I'm not saying they didn't try hard, but if they took their foot off the gas, it really ended up burning them because then Edmonton goes down and gets a win in Game 6 in Florida 5-3, and then wins again on Friday back in Edmonton pretty handily 5-1. There is so much intrigue to this Stanley Cup final, Game 7 tonight, because once again, Florida's trying to win their first ever Stanley Cup, and they've been around less times than I've been alive. They've only been around for 30 years. I'm 35. So I'm 5 years older than the Florida Panthers. They're looking for their first Stanley Cup in the franchise history in my lifetime. Whereas the Edmonton, the Oilers are looking for another cup for them, but they're looking to do something that hasn't been done since 1942, and that's come back from 3-0. And I believe it's the only time it's ever happened in the Stanley Cup. It's never happened in the NBA playoffs at any level. It has happened in Major League Baseball's playoff system, but this will just be the second time it's ever happened in the Stanley Cup, but for the first time in 82 years. It's crazy.
First off, that 42 Maple Leafs comeback that was so historic, and of course that we're pointing back to, did happen against my Red Wings, which is a little bit unfortunate. So I appreciate you not bringing that up. But yeah, there were 7 teams in the league back then in 42, and so it's a very different landscape. And I think the comeback means if they can close it out, potentially even more, it would be the 5th ever comeback from down 3-0 in the playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs. In the finals, of course, as Roz mentioned, this would be the only one. And yeah, it does feel like that little bit of a slip maybe in focus, or I'm not saying, like Ross was, that there was any lack of effort, because, we both think that there probably wasn't, but there is, I think, in the back of your mind, you want to go back home, especially when you're deep in the heart of Canada, playing that Game 4, that you want to get back home, and that it's okay to take the foot off the pedal a little bit. And all it does is get you unraveled and watch how far the ball of yarn has rolled since getting unraveled. Bobrovsky was on the top of the world, as Ross says, but has really come back down to earth hard, and I get it. He is very tired. I believe he started every single game of the Stanley Cup playoffs for the Panthers between the pipes. That is ridiculous. And yeah, he didn't give up all the goals. There were a couple empty netters late in that Game 6 win for the Oilers, but he's definitely not as sharp as crisp as he was basically for the last 10 games, it seems, of the playoffs. And that's all it takes is a little bit of slippage. And that Oilers offense that they talk about, it wasn't deep enough, it wasn't talented enough outside of McDavid, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. They're showing on the biggest stage right now that they still belong where they got in the playoffs or in the finals, excuse me. And it is almost a mirror of that Celtics-Mavs season series where it was down 3-0. They slipped. They got blown out big time in Game 4 trying to get that closeout game. But then it just all compounded for the Oilers, who now have it rolling. And to be honest, I think because of how big momentum is in hockey, how hard the ice is tilted right now towards those pipes that Bobrovsky's going to be sitting in here in Game 7, you got to think the Oilers have a big upper hand here tonight.
Well, that's going to be the thing that I'm excited to see is how much momentum can you get? How much momentum does Edmonton have? You're going back to Florida where you did win last time, but I mean, their backs are against the wall. I mean, Florida's backs are absolutely against the wall. They have all this pressure because they don't want to become just the second team to ever have a 3-0 lead and end up losing this Stanley Cup. So they've got a ton of pressure on them. They're at home. That adds more pressure. And Edmonton is out there playing with all the momentum. How far can that carry them? I'm very fascinated to see that here tonight. Very
quick
fascinating.
Betting odds update. Vegas has this almost as a toss-up. Very slight favorites to the Panthers.
Probably just because they're home.
Because they're at home, yeah. But you got to think, I mean, Big Mo, that being momentum, is ridiculously huge in hockey, and you can see it. That's, I think, why we have sort of a handful of 3-0 comebacks on the ice that we really don't have anywhere else. You have it a couple times, obviously, in the MLB, but 3-0 comebacks are very few and far between in pro sports, those that do playoff series. And I feel like the Oilers can close this thing out tonight.
Weekend winners here on the Morning Blitz. Do you have a few more winners here? I've got a couple quick ones. If you got a couple quick ones, go ahead.
I've got a couple, really quick ones. One of them would be 17-year-old American Thomas Heilman, who broke Michael Phelps's 100-meter butterfly record in the 17-18 age group. And I know that's not a name that most people know, frankly. I'm not a big swimmer. It's not a name that I knew before, but anytime, it's like breaking a record that's put next to Wilt's name in the NBA. Anytime you do, first time since Phelps or breaks Phelps' record, that's just hugely incredible. And so congratulations to Thomas. And a little bit of a bigger one, just because it's more in the national headlines right now. The Indiana Fever, they did lose to the Sky in a very close game yesterday. But before that, Caitlin Clark's team won 4 games in a row. Get this. When's the last time, Ross, that they won 4 games in a row?
I'm going to guess they never have.
You're pretty close.
Oh.
August of 2015.
Oh, wow.
It's been almost a decade.
Wow. Yikes.
It's been almost a decade since the Fever have won 4 straight games. And yes, the streak is now over, like I said, with a tight loss yesterday. But Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston were both 13 the last time this franchise won 4 straight, and they did it again. And in doing so, they more than doubled their win total on the season. It feels like that random stretch where the Rockies nailed off, I think it was 7 in a row, and doubled their wins for the season. Fever doing something like that right now, and good for them. It's a young team. We talked about how how much they've struggled throughout this year and the maybe lack of talent around that duo, but nice to see them sort of getting warmed up here. But those are my quick winners of the weekend.
I got a couple talking points to go off of that. First and foremost, with the Sky and Fever game, did you see what the average ticket price was for that?
No, I did not.
$385 was the average ticket price for Vivid seats for the WNBA game between the Sky and the Fever. Are we seeing this could be such a humongous bigger topic, but I'll ask the question anyway. Maybe we can discuss it more tomorrow. But are we seeing with this Sky with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, is this the WNBA's version of Bird Magic? Honestly, it's starting to kind of feel like it. It really is. It really is starting to kind of have that feel.
It feels like
it's really propelled NBA basketball to the heights that it got to in the 80s and the 90s. And so I'm kind of wondering if we're starting to see that, if history repeat itself on the women's side between Clark and Reese.
It's honestly not that ridiculous of a statement, as wild as that might seem. I think to reach that height, you need to do what Magic and Bird did.
I mean, they have to make it to the finals, and they got to put it on the national stage. I get that, but we're kind of seeing the birth of it a little bit.
I get what you're going for.
We're kind of seeing the very initial steps of it. It's very intriguing. Also, you were talking about the swimmer. What was his name again?
Thomas Howman.
How about the story of 16-year-old Quincy Wilson, who qualified for the finals in the 400 with the fastest 400 high school time ever of 44.66. That is humming. 44.66 as a 16-year-old? Good Lord. That's unbelievable. I've got two more quick winners as well. Western Kansas baseball stand-up, a winner of the weekend. Hayes' own Dylan Dreiling is becoming quite the storyline at the Men's College World Series for Tennessee. Yesterday, Dreiling, who committed to Tennessee baseball before he even got into high school at Hayes High, he's now having an unbelievable College World Series. He's 11 of 22 in the Men's College World Series. For those math majors out there like myself, that's hitting 500 at this point in time. He's in line to be one of the MVPs of this tournament, possibly. But yesterday, he really bounced down the stage. They were down 1-0 in an elimination game. If Tennessee loses, the CWS is over and the title goes to A&M. Dreiling hits a 2-run bomb out over right field and gives the Volunteers a 2-1 lead. They would go on to win 4-1 yesterday, and a very exciting game, winner take all game 3 tonight at Omaha between A&M and Tennessee, and Dylan Dreiling, Hayes High product, right in the midst of that mix right there, which I think is really, really cool. So Western Kansas baseball, it just proves it doesn't matter where you are in the world nowadays. If you are good enough, you can be on the big stage when it really matters. So that's pretty cool to see. So stand up for Western Kansas baseball, and Hayes' own Dylan Dreiling, the right fielder, or is he left fielder for Tennessee? And then you have a point on that real quickly?
He is a left fielder, but I just wanted to know, I was sort of surprised. I was watching a little bit of it in the airport, or I guess it was the game before that, actually. I was a little bit surprised when A&M took game 1 of this series, and obviously now Tennessee, huge favorites. I know you're not a betting man, but here in game 3, minus 270 is a heavy, heavy line. That's looking like what the Celtics were going into the NBA Finals this year. If you had to put your money on one of these teams, or maybe even on the spread of plus a run and a half or minus for Tennessee, who are you picking tonight?
This is a very great question, and I don't know. The problem is A&M has got probably the better pitching, and Tennessee has definitely the better offense.
Sure.
So I guess I'll lean Tennessee because it's later. You're getting deeper into the series, which means pitching depth can be an issue. So I guess I'll lean Tennessee. But this is going to be a great final game. I think the two games tonight, in Game 7 of the NHL Finals and Game 3 of the CWS, it's a 2 TV appointment deal. You got to have 2 screens up and watch it. I think they're going to be really, really good. We're going to have some great things to talk about tomorrow. That's my thought. That's my thought on it. And my final winner of the weekend, I know we're going long here on winners, but my final winner of the weekend. So this past weekend, I was in Colorado spending some time with my brother-in-law. Me and my wife were, and we went to the Colorado Rockies game. And so we were at the Rockies walk-off winner where they walked it off it was history. I got to witness history, Christian, this weekend. I got to witness the first ever walk-off walk, which was called because of a pitch time rule where the pitcher did not get the pitch thrown in time, the clock violation, and it was ball 4 with the bases loaded. The winning run came in and got the win for the Rockies in come from behind fashion. It was a great game. It was entertaining. It was fun. And I'll tell you why my winner of the weekend is Rockies owner Dick Monfort. He's the real winner of the weekend. Do you want to know why Dick Monfort is the real winner of the weekend?
I would love to know.
Is because Coors Field they're just so blessed because Coors Field in the summer, it's just a beautiful ballpark in a beautiful part of the world. The sun setting and the Rockies, and I do mean the Rocky Mountains off in the distance. Having a drink in your hand and watching baseball. It doesn't matter who's playing. You just want to be a part of it. And that's why he's a winner of the weekend, because it doesn't matter how bad the Rockies are. You just go for the Coors Field experience. I'm not saying it's like going to, Wrigley or Fenway, which I have been to both. I'm not going to say it's like that. But if you want to just talk about just going and having just a beautiful evening with some food, watch a little baseball, just have a night out with friends, you really can't go wrong. I mean, the Rockies are not good, people. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Nationals this weekend. They once again lost after leading in the 9th yesterday on Sunday. They're bad. Their bullpen is probably the worst in the country. But it just doesn't matter. People show up to watch the Rockies, and I think it's just people who love baseball. They don't even really care for the Rockies that much, or the overall crowd attendance. The team doesn't win, but it doesn't matter because Dick Monfort reels in millions of dollars every single year because people just show up to be at Coors Field and experience it. And I think that's why he's a winner of the weekend. He's in a great situation. If you got a crummy ballpark and a crummy part of town and no views and the weather's always bad, you don't want to go I don't want to watch that. But guess what? The weather's good. It's nice and cool in the evenings. There's no wind. It's just beautiful. Why not go out and enjoy nature? No bugs. I mean, that's my thing. It's nuts.
And that's almost the struggle.
He's got it perfect. He's just got it perfect. And that's why he doesn't have to spend any money on the team. He can save money that way because he's still getting people to come and watch a bad team.
Exactly. He can now he has been able to throw exactly the worst product on the field possible year in and year out because everyone's still going to come and watch. Even if they're not really watching, they're there for the experience.
That's right.
Who knows that?
You got to get it. You got to go experience it so you can understand it this summer, Chris. You got to go out there for a game and get the Coors Field experience. So anyway, and the area around the Lodo, the area around Coors Field as well. All right. Anyway, let's get to break. By the way, if you want to get your weekend winners or losers in, you can hit us up on the FNB Bank text line, the number 785-899-2222 for the FNB Bank text line. We'll take a break, come back. Weekend losers are next here on a Monday edition of the Morning Blitz.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-513-8480. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-513-8480. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-513-8480.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning. This is Tyler Grosh with the Andersons in Overland Park, Kansas, with your morning market update. It is Monday, June 24th. Overnight sessions have commodities set to open lower. July corn is down 4.5 cents at 430.5. September is down 5 cents at 435.5. And December is down 4 3/4 at 448.5. Beans on the July are up 0.75% at 11.61 1/4. The September is down 2 3/4 at 11.16 3/4, and November is down 3 at 11.17. Kansas City wheat on the July is down 3 cents at 5.78 1/4. September down 4 cents at 5.83, and the December is down 3 1/4 at an even $6. Chicago wheat on the July down 5 3/4 at 5.55 3/4. September down 3 1/4 at 5.72.5. December is down 2 3/4 at 5.97. S&P 500 is down 2 points at 5,532. The Dow is up 80 points, 3,900, 662. Nasdaq down 46 points at 19,936. Crude oil down 10 cents a barrel at $80.64. And gold is up $8 an ounce at 2,339. If you have any cash bring you'd like to move or want to learn more about our freedom pricing tools, reach out and give us a call. You can reach myself, Tyler Ghost, Jared Law, or Tom Saludo at 913-748-2000. Out in Colorado, give John Hanke a call at 970-744-4484.
Introducing Certain Herbicide, the latest corn innovation from BASF. It brings powerful PPO residual chemistry into a pre through early post application thanks to novel solid encapsulation technology. Apply from pre-plant to V3 and get up to 8 weeks of residual control or suppression of 79 broadleaf and grass weed species. Don't chase weeds all through the season. Attack them before they emerge with Certain Herbicide from BASF. Always read and follow label directions.
Keep your ride running at peak performance by scheduling an appointment with the Daves at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Hurl's has a full-service service department where they'll work on all makes and models, not just GM. They do tire repair and replacement. They'll make sure your AC is running at its best for these hot summer months. Plus, customers who bought a used vehicle from Hurl's get a lifetime warranty and reduced oil change prices. So get your appointment scheduled today by calling 785-890-0000. That's 890-0000 and ask for Dave. You're sure to get one of them.
It's the Morning Blitz.
What is this, amateur hour?
Weekday mornings from 7 to 8 Mountain, 8 to 9 Central on 102.5 Rock and the Rocking M app.
Continuing with weekend winners and losers here on a Monday morning on the Morning Blitz. As always, the text line open, 785-899-2222. Number part of the F&B Bank text line here on the Morning Blitz. Michael Tech chimed in during the break saying that, yes, that beautiful scenery in Colorado, as well as, of course, Mile High Stadium off in the distance. Yeah, I get it. We know, Michael. We get it. But I didn't see it I was up in the 300 level, and I did not see it, but I might have not been in the right vantage point. I could just see the sunset going behind the Rockies, and, of course, just that beautiful weather. It was good. It was good. Really good time. Really enjoyed my time up there at Coors Field, as I always do, no matter the games that are going on. It's more fun when the Diamondbacks are there and they're kicking their tails, but it's all right that I got to watch a little history there on they're on Saturday night. By the way, yesterday, Rockies lose 2-1. They lose the series to the Nationals 2-1. Kyle Freeland was back for the first time in a couple of months. The Colorado native. He was fantastic, by the way. Freeland was really, really good. I was trying to think. He was, him and who was it? Nick Mears. Yeah, they held the Nationals to just one hit until the ninth inning, and then they got multiple hits and they win 2-1 to the Nationals. I mean, it's that kind of season for the Rockies. Freeland, 6 innings, one hit, 4 strikeouts in his first start in more than 2 months. Michael Toglia had a home run, the only run provided by the Rockies offense. It's just that kind of year for the Rockies. I mean, the bullpen is it's bad. It's really bad. And I saw it live in person. It isn't any better. It's not better on TV, and it's not better in person. It's just bad.
It might be the worst bullpen in the major.
It's in contention. It's in contention, baby. It is in contention. So that's the loser of the weekend. Speaking of losers, let's move on to the losers of the weekend. Who is your first loser?
Oh, I hate to do this because we just talked about the Rockies, but I've got the Royals. And again, because we've had them as winners and we've had them as losers of the weekend. And overall, absolutely, they are winners of the season so far. At this point last season, they had 20. That's right, 20 fewer wins. But I still think in the terms and in the spirit of this segment, they are losers of this weekend. They were blanked by the Rangers twice in a 3-game series and did not look particularly good even in that first game that they lost, where they put up their only 2 runs of the 3-game series. I went back and checked this by hand, so hopefully I'm right about this. If anyone can off the top of their head pull a mistake here, I think this is the first time that they've been swept in any series, 3 or 4 games this season. And of course, that speaks to how good they've been this year overall. But against a Rangers team that hasn't been all that great this year so far. I know what they did last season, but talking about just right now, not playing great baseball, got just destroyed by them game in and game out for 3 straight games. Losers of 3 in a row are the Royals now, and losers of 6 of their last 7, most of which games that really they could not seem to put any consistent offense together. I think losers of the weekend, though maybe a mini one, the Kansas City Royals.
I couldn't agree with how you broke it down. I had the Royals as a loser as well, but I don't want to say that they are a real, true loser this weekend, because once again, they have 40 wins, which means they are double the win total at this point in time right now that they did last year at this point in time. So it's been a great season for the Royals in comparison to previous years. But they did just go 2-7 on this road trip. Don't get me wrong, the Dodgers, but then you had the Athletics and the Rangers, who are both down, and you didn't really do much against either of those teams. You avoided a sweep at the hands of Oakland, but then you were swept by Texas. So, yes, it's been a tough stretch, but still, when you have twice as many wins right now as you did at this point in time last year, that's all right. That's going to be okay. You're going to be all right. But you're right. The offense needs to find something. They've got to get their offense going again, and right now it's just not happening. The offense has really hit a lull in the season. Speaking of the Texas Rangers, we talked about Kyle Freeland hadn't pitched in a couple months. Well, it was the first start of the season for Max Scherzer, and boy, he shut down the Royals in that series finale yesterday. He went out there, and he was really, really good. He retired 15 of 16 batters he faced in 5 scoreless innings. Did Max Scherzer. The only hit was a ground rule double by MJ Melendez. And it's funny that MJ Melendez is actually hitting the ball pretty decent right now, because when the Royals offense was rolling, he couldn't hit anything. So it's amazing that MJ Melendez is up when everybody else is now down. That's just the way it's going right now for the Royals. But like I said, I don't, and like I said, yeah, that sweep, I believe this is the first time this year they have been swept. But hey, you know what? It's a great season. It really is a great season. Also, a shout out to college baseball, because Wyatt Langford had one of the big hits in that win for the Texas Rangers. He was playing in the College World Series finals last year at this time.
Yeah.
So he made a quick trip up to the major leagues at Wyatt Langford for the Rangers. So yes, I would agree. Royals a mini loser, but I'm not going to pour it on, because it's been a heck of a season for him.
MJ is absolutely a nice little silver lining around the cloud, and hopefully when the Royals start piecing their offense back together, he can continue to hit the cover off the ball the way he is right now. But over the last 7 games, we talked about KC having lost 6 of their last 7. They've been blanked 3 times of the 4 total shutouts they've had this season. 3 of them have come in the last 7 games. They have just 11 runs scored over this 7-game stretch. That's 1.6 runs a game. Not going to get it done, but I hate to go back to just, excusing this bad play, in light of the entire season, but a loser of the weekend, the Royals.
I just have a quick other loser of the weekend right here, and that's the protesters at the Travelers Golf Tournament. I don't know. Did you happen to see that there, Christian?
Yeah.
Good Lord. Why do we have to make a spectacle of this? So anyway, it's on the final green of the Travelers Tournament, and 6 protesters come out, running out there with smoke grenade. I don't know, a smoke grenade, so that's what I'll call them. But
whatever they are.
Yeah, talking about having no golf on a dead planet. They're trying to put on the world, that you're not taking care of the planet and all this stuff. I just leave it alone, people. How dumb is this? And then it caused a delay. Did you see Scotty Scheffler's face? Like, he was walking, getting ready to putt, and then the people came on, and he just smirked and just was slowly walking away. Like, he knew no one was going to come hit him. And he's just like, oh, here we go. It's a turd show. Yeah, that was people, just leave it alone. There have been some stuff like that. Remember the Harvard-Yale game where they had the sit-in at the end of the first quarter a couple of years ago?
No,
there was a football game at Harvard and Yale, and they had a sit-in where they sat down. A bunch of students came onto the field and sat at midfield. And and tried to stall the game for a half hour or something like that for some protest. Good Lord, people, leave it alone. Let us enjoy our sports, please.
Hey, they got us talking about it. And
I
they
guess.
certainly got headlines. So I guess they're
guess.
probably seeing this
They
as a win. But yeah, just ridiculous. And to get in front of the game like that, all it really does is build hate for this group. And I know that's sort of a negative look on it, that probably it should just be awareness for the cause. But come on, tell me you didn't see that and just immediately have Ross's reaction. Come on. Now you just kind of whatever. It could be the most noble and virtuous cause of all time, but when you're interrupting other things that people love like that to get the point across, all it does is bring negativity, certainly, to whatever that movement is. And not only was it interrupting and bringing sort of hate to the group and to the movement, but yeah, certainly idiotic and thus losers of the weekend. Ross, I'm right there with you.
All right, you have any more losers here before? I don't have any more. Do you have any more losers of the weekend? Yeah, I was going to say,
covered.
I mostly had winners of the weekend. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap the show with some of the leftovers next. You're listening to the Monday morning edition of the Morning Blitz.
When Kansas storms knock the power out, many homes turn to portable generators. If you use a generator, don't risk a fire or shock. Follow the generator's instructions and plug appliances into your generator. Never connect your generator into your home's electric system unless a licensed electrician has installed a double throw switch. Lastly, only run your generator outside, away from doors or windows, never in a garage or carport. A safety message from Midwest Energy, a customer-owned cooperative making energy work for you.
When you walk into your local Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, you'll see that Nick and the staff have a little bit of everything for the warmer months ahead. Keep the lawn in shape with mowers, blowers, and trimmers from Craftsman, Toro, and Ego. Freshen up the look of a room or the whole place with Benjamin Moore paints. Keep the family fed and happy with grills from Traeger, Weber, and Blackstone. And be sure to take advantage of the lower lumber prices. Plus, they're looking for people to join their amazing teams at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, with locations in Goodland and Colby. Open every day but Sunday.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, VH1, TLC, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR, so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC+. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery ingestion and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
Hey, it's Brian Haney, the voice of the Jayhawks, and you're listening to my main man, Ross Volkmer. He may be a Husker, but he also knows how to rock chalk. And you're listening to the Morning Blitz right here on 102.5 You Rock.
Saw something during the break on the Twitter sphere. When I say basketball courts that stand out to you, like if I say, can you name any basketball courts that stand out to you?
Like all time or current?
Yeah. Currently, all time. Are there any courts that stand out to you in the world of basketball? You're like, you've seen that court, you're like, oh my gosh, what a court that is. Like, it looks really bad or it looks really good. Are there any ones that stand out in your mind?
Really bad, I would go with the NBA in-season tournament when they tried all those ugly bright colors. But for good, I would say probably back in like the 2000s, especially the 08 finals when they had the huge logo of the Larry O'Brien on the court during finals games. Those were pretty cool.
One of the more controversial courts in college basketball is Oregon's, with the trees that reach out to the middle. You have to look up and see the old trees on Oregon's older court. They got a brand new court now as they get set to join the Big Ten Conference. Definitely, once again, it's a unique deal. They still have some of the trees, but it's not as defined, and they have some other unique things on the floor there at Oregon because, once again, Phil Knight and that family have so much more money than God. They can do whatever they want. So anyway, I just saw that. I thought, hey, many people complain about how ugly the Oregon court is. It's definitely unique and different. The old one was. The new one is still unique and different, but maybe not as crazy. I think it looks pretty good.
I mean, that's their whole thing, right? Is all the unique and different, especially, I'm looking at the new branding right now. That does look pretty
You got to
cool.
look up the old one because the old one's the one that everyone got a big stir at.
I don't think it's that. I know. I know what you're talking about. I was never that mad at it. I thought it was sort of creative, and I do understand how it's a little bit distracting, especially when it was green tinted. I know sometimes they would have it sort of as like a darker shade of that hardwood color. I think that looked a little bit better. I get how it could be distracting. I never thought it was that bad.
Yeah. Big day today in the world of sports, honestly, for a very hot summer day. You have the Royals back at home after a long road trip to begin a series with the Marlins. That's tonight at 7:10 Central with first pitch. You can listen on AM 790 KXXX. The Rockies, they're done with a 10-game homestand. It's their longest of the season. They are on the road opening a series tonight at Houston. So that's what's up for the Rockies and the Royals. And as we mentioned, as we get to the walk-off here, it's a humongous night in the world of sports because of two games.
A 3-run walk-off home run, a game-winning walk-off with a walk-off.
His second walk-off hit of the season.
In walk-off fashion, that baby's go.
And, of course, those two games would be the Stanley Cup Finals, Game 7. We talked about already earlier in the show, where the Oilers are trying to come from down 3-0 to win 4 straight and win a Stanley Cup. And in the city of Edmonton and in Canada, for like the first time in 20-plus years that Canada's won a Stanley Cup in what is considered kind of their national sport. So that's just nuts to think about. And of course, the Florida Panthers trying to not blow this lead and win their first ever Stanley Cup in franchise history in their 30 years of existence. So a lot of cool stuff happening in that storylines in that series tonight. And then, of course, on ESPN, you'll have college baseball where you have Hayes' Dylan Dreiling leading Tennessee against Texas A&M. And winner take all game through there and what should be a very, very good final game. And it's going to be the first title for one of these two teams, but it'll be the 5th straight champion out of the Southeastern Conference, whoever wins. So domination in the SEC.
Yeah.
But I tell you, it's like I said before, it is a 2-screen viewing night.
Oh, for
you
sure.
You need 2 screens to watch the College World Series conclude and the Stanley Cup Finals conclude as well.
And you got the NBA draft coming up on Wednesday. Busy week in sports. They really know how to pack them in.
All right, we're out of here. For Christian, I'm Ross. We'll see you back here tomorrow in 23 hours.